Elvis grew up poor and spent money like crazy. There was nothing Elvis Presley couldn't afford. His jets had seat belts plated with real gold. He surprised random people with Harley Davidsons and mink coats. He owned a yacht that once belonged to a president. But the king of rock and roll started from the bottom. Elvis' early years unfolded during the Great Depression. In 1938, his father lost their two-room shotgun shack. He was convicted of check alteration. While he served his time, Elvis and his mom bunked with relatives. Once he was out, finding decent jobs was a struggle. The family had to hop from one rental to the next. At 4, Elvis overheard his parents talking about bills. He boldly announced that he'd get them both a Cadillac someday. Elvis fulfilled that promise. He gave away 200 Cadillacs during his later years. His own Cadillac, known as Elvis Rose, was a pink wonder. This car became an iconic symbol of the era. During his prime, Elvis made up to $1 million per performance. His career brought him anywhere from $100 million to $1 billion. In 1957, Elvis bought a $100,000 Graceland mansion. He moved in with his parents and grandmother. He continued purchasing surrounding land. Elvis expanded the estate from 10,000 square feet to 13.8 acres. He owned a string of Hollywood homes. He would rent them out while working on his films. One of these homes was the former residence of Prince Rainier of Monaco. Elvis met the Beatles in one of his Bel Air properties. After marrying Priscilla, he bought a $400,000 mansion. They lived next door to Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. The place had 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a pool. Elvis' most famous jet was the 1958 Convair 880. He named it after his daughter, Lisa Marie. The jet featured a bedroom and a conference room. It boasted 24-karat gold flex sinks and gold-plated seat belts. Elvis also had a Lockheed Jetstar business jet. It was valued at $900,000. Elvis generously shared his wealth with loved ones. He provided his father with a yearly allowance of $72,500. He covered his father's $250,000 divorce settlement. The Memphis Mafia Elvis crew lived on his dime. Elvis would treat friends and strangers to gifts like cars, mink coats, and Harley Davidsons. He was a motorcycle enthusiast himself. He favored big bore, Harley FLH, touring bikes. He also explored other brands, such as Triumph and Honda. Elvis even ventured into the realm of 70s-era trikes. He briefly owned Franklin D. Roosevelt's yacht, the Potomac, but he donated the floating White House to a children's hospital. When it came to bling, Elvis was the king. He had a collection of gold chains and jewelry. His Aloha outfit was worth $250,000 in today's money. Divorce was also a costly affair for Elvis. He paid Priscilla a lump sum of $100,000. He also paid monthly child support. By 1970, Elvis was spending $500,000 a year on prescription drugs. He had to pay fees for over 100 doctors. Then his drug expenses skyrocketed to $1 million per year. Prior to his departure, Elvis donated much of his wealth to charity. He died at the age of 42, with $5 million to his name.